Happy Friday feeling, LPES. It is great to be back with all of you. I hope that we're starting to get a little bit more used to the schedule and the routine of coming to school. I know it can be a little hard these first couple of weeks making that adjustment. And this year, unlike any other year, it's really hard for almost everyone. Not just my kindergartners who are new to our school, but everyone from kindergarten through fourth grade, even our grown-ups in school, because last year was so different. It was a shorter day. We weren't all in school at the same time normally. We didn't have fun things like lunch, recess, our specials. But this year, it's a slightly longer day, which can be hard, but we also have all those wonderful things that help to break up our day and make school such a wonderful and exciting place. So, as we are getting used to things, I thought that a really good lesson for all of us to go over today would be mantras. And mantras, if you don't know what a mantra is, why don't you go ahead and try saying that word with me now? Mantra. Say it with me. Mantra. So mantra, M-A-N-T-R-A, is a nice word of saying positive thoughts or sentences that we tell ourselves. My friends who remember this from last year, you might remember I love the one that goes, we can do hard things, or I can do hard things. So when we're faced with something that's tough, when we're faced with something that makes us feel uncomfortable or fearful, we can tell ourselves, I can do hard things to get through it. Things like having to say goodbye to our parents at the beginning of the day can be really hard still, especially for my kids in kindergarten and first grade. Doing a test can be really hard sometimes. Trying to do something that we just don't know how to do can be challenging. And so when we think of a mantra, and I know at least one class actually has a whole class mantra, Mrs. Kerwin's kindergarten class, they have a mantra that they say together every day, which I think is so great. If we have a mantra, if we have a saying that we tell ourselves, whenever we're faced with something that's a challenge, it's going to help our brain to actually start to believe that we can do it, that we can get through it, just like I know each and every one of you can. So to help us with this today, I actually found a book that I think is pretty perfect for this time of year. It takes place the first week of school. Well, it takes place leading up to the first day of school and then the few days after that. This book is great because it talks about how worries are totally normal, how a lot of us have them, and how sometimes we can't make them go away. The book is called Donut Worry, donut like Dunkin' Donuts, eating a donut. And it's filled with some really cute characters that I think you're going to enjoy. So I'm going to change my screen and I hope you enjoy our story, Donut Worry. Christiane Jones, illustrated by Jack Viant. Donut Worry. Summer, a time to relax and unwind and have fun. Until August. That's when the school worries start to creep in. And when the worries creep in, they're hard to push out. Worry time. Oh no, what if I miss the bus? Do I bring my own snack? Who will sit with me at lunch? What if my shoe comes untied and I can't tie it? Can I bring a water bottle? What if there's a storm and the lights go out at school? What if I get everything wrong? With each passing day, Donut's worries grew. Soon they took over her life. Sometimes Donut didn't even know what she was worried about. But she couldn't stop worrying. Her stomach hurt all the time. She couldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. Sometimes it felt like she couldn't even breathe. While her friends enjoyed sleepovers and swimming, Donut stayed home worrying. Don't worry, her friends would say. Being worried all the time was terrible, but having everyone tell her not to worry was even worse. At Donut's family reunion, that's all she heard from everyone over and over again. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. If I hear one more time that I'm going to lose my sweet little mind. so worry," said a voice. "Who said that?" "I did. The name's Cookie." "Last summer, I completely crumbled," Cookie said. "I was miserable. My worries took over my life. I couldn't even leave my house." "That's exactly how I feel. So, what did you do?" "I faced my worries." "It wasn't easy," Cookie replied. "I tried everything. I went to therapy. I wrote mantras. I can do this. Maybe not. I will be okay. Or will I? Take on today. Nah. Work hard. Not today. I meditated. I exercised. I cried. The list goes on and on." Donut and Cookie walked and talked and talked and walked until the sun set. They talked about big worries. They talked about little worries. They talked about how sometimes they didn't even know what they were worried about. When they said goodbye, Cookie told Donut something she would never forget. "It's okay not to be okay." That night, Donut listed ways to tackle her worries. There were lots of things she could try. She even wrote her own mantra. So a mantra is a saying that we say to ourselves over and over again to help us face our fears or to do something that we have to be brave. She wrote, "I worry a lot, and that's okay. I will battle these worries on my own way. I breathe, I count, I try different things, till my worries take flight on invisible wings." And she also wrote on her wall, "It's okay not to be okay." Every day, Donut practiced new ways to conquer her worries. "Nothing is working." "Just cry it out, Donut. Something will work, I promise." Some worked, some didn't, but she kept trying. Here she is writing her worries down and ripping them up and breathing, taking some deep breaths and thinking to herself, peace, and then punching a punching bag. All different things that we can try. Donut barely slept the night before school started, but she was okay. Will my friends be in my class? It's okay if they aren't. Will I like my teacher? It's okay if you don't. What happens if I get sick at school? What happens if I get hurt at recess? What happens if my backpack zipper gets stuck? What happens if I have to go to the bathroom and it's not time for a bathroom break? It's okay to ask the teacher. As Donut left her house the next morning, she was still worried, but she grabbed her backpack, silently repeated her mantra, took a deep breath, and smiled. She would be okay. I worry a lot, and that's okay. I will battle these worries my own way. I breathe, I count, I try different things till my worries take flight on invisible wings. Work your worries. And my friends, this is the end of our story. The story's ended, but it does have a few suggestions here. It says, work your worries. It's not always easy to stop your worries from taking over. Thankfully, there are lots of ways to tackle them. Donut used a mantra to help with her words. Donut's mantra might help you too. Or try one of the exercises below. And we have bubble breathing, flower and candle breathing, write it down and then tear it up. We write our worries down or draw them on a piece of paper and tear them up. And move it. Any kind of movement can help our bodies to feel better. All right. So I hope that book and the little exercises at the end helped us to think a little bit more about our worries. Two things really stuck out to me in this story. The first one was the mantra that she kept telling herself over and over again. In fact, I'm going to bring it up on my screen right now so I can read it to each of you because I think it's so great. It goes, I worry a lot, and that's okay. I will battle these worries my own way. I breathe, I count, I try different things till my worries take flight on invisible wings. And I think that's so great because it's reminding us that we are going to have worries and we're going to try and battle them. We're going to try and make those worries go away in all different ways by taking deep breaths, by counting, by trying different things, moving our bodies, whatever it might be, until those worries take flight, until they go away. Another thing that really stuck out to me in this book is when Donut meets her new friend Cookie. And Donut's talking all about these worries that she has and how they're not going away, and she's trying everything. And finally, Cookie looks at her and says, "It's okay to not be okay." Just think of that for a moment. It's okay to not be okay. A lot of times, my friends, I'm seeing kids in our school and maybe they're upset, maybe they're having a hard time in the morning, or maybe something's happened during the day that's making it difficult for them. And I'll go up to them and be like, "Hey, are you okay?" And their immediate response is, "I'm okay," even if they're crying, even if they're clearly not okay. And sometimes I think we're just so used to telling people, "I'm okay, I'm good, I'm okay," that we start to repeat that over and over again. And even when we're really not okay, we're still kind of insisting, "I'm okay, I'm okay," instead of asking for help, or instead of taking some time to do something that might actually help us to feel okay, help us to feel a bit better. So I think that that's really important too. Sometimes we just need to acknowledge, "I'm not okay." Sometimes we just need to say to ourselves, "Man, I'm feeling really sad right now," or "I'm feeling really confused and that's hard," or "I'm feeling very frustrated because I don't understand what we're learning in class," or "I'm feeling really sad because I miss my mom or my dad." And eventually, those feelings will change. Eventually, they'll turn to a different feeling that maybe feels a little bit better, maybe feels a little bit more like we are doing okay. And in the meantime, while we're still trying to get ourselves to feel better, to feel okay, one of the things that we can try is a mantra. So I want you to think for a moment right now, and I want you to think about this week, since you're probably seeing this on a Friday. Some classes watch it a little bit later, but if you're seeing this on a Friday, it's perfect at the end of a week. I want you to think about this whole week that we just came from, Monday through Friday. And I want you to think about what was a challenge for you this week. What was a moment that was particularly hard? Was it something in school? Was it something at home? Was it something at your sports team event? An extracurricular thing that you do after school? Whatever it was, you don't have to say it out loud. You're just thinking this to yourself. I want you to think about that hard moment. I want you to think about what that challenge felt like. Think about what emotion you felt, what feeling you felt. Did you feel sad? Did you feel upset, frustrated? Maybe you felt angry. Whatever it was. And I want you to think that if you saw a friend having that same problem, this is a little tricky, try and stay with me. If you saw someone else having the same problem you had earlier this week, what would be something you would tell them? So for example, if someone was taking a test and they were really having a difficult time, they didn't remember some of the things that we learned maybe last year, and they started to get upset and think, "I'm not smart enough, I can't do it." If your friend was saying those things, if they were sitting next to you and going, "I'm just not smart enough, I can't do this," what could we tell them to make them feel better? And don't say it out loud in your class. Again, think about it in your mind. Maybe you would tell them something like, "I believe in you," or "I know that you're smart," or "You just can keep trying. Just keep trying." Whatever it is that you would tell that other person, now bring it back to your problem, your thing that was really hard this week, that's what you're going to tell yourself in your brain. That could be your mantra. So if you felt really sad or nervous about saying goodbye to mom or dad this week, then maybe you can tell yourself, "I know I'll see them later, and I can be brave on my own." Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that's a good one. I can be brave on my own. Yeah, that's a good one. I can be brave on my own. Mrs. Heffler's favorite, one of my favorites, is "I can do hard things." It can be something simple like, "I can keep trying." "I won't give up." Whatever it might be, think of that positive sentence. And I want you to really make an effort today if you're faced with something hard, I want you to think of that positive sentence that we're keeping in the back of our brain and to repeat it to yourself over and over again in your head until it starts to work. It always helps if we're doing some deep breathing while we're doing that. And we're not going to be saying it out loud, because if your teacher is in the middle of teaching a lesson or giving a spelling test and you start going, I can do hard things, I can do hard things, it's going to really be distracting for everyone else around us. But you can repeat those things to yourself in your brain, and eventually your brain will start to believe it. If we say it enough times, your brain is actually going to start to believe it also, and it's going to help us to feel a little bit better. So I hope that you enjoyed our Donut Worry book today, and that some of the exercises that Donut and Cookie did help you to deal with whatever worries you might be having. Have a great weekend, my friends, and I will see you all again next week. Bye, LPES. Stay kind.